Okay, let us proceed to the theoretical aspect of 2022 Basic Education Certificate Examination, BECE Mathematics Solution. Okay, let's start with the first question. The instruction was to answer question 1 and any other 2 questions in this section. You understand? Okay, this is section B. That is the theoretical aspect. You are asked to answer question 1. You understand? And any other 2 questions in this section. Now, listen to me. That means that question 1 is compulsory. Then, among question 2, 3, and 4, you have to choose 2 questions. That means that you are answering 3 questions. You understand? But notwithstanding, I'm going to provide solution to all the questions that you see here. Okay? I'm going to provide solution to all the questions. So, I want you to pay attention. Let's start with the first question. Question 1. Let's start with question 1. We are asked to solve the equation 3x all over 4 plus 5 over 8 equals to 3 over 8. Solve the equation 3x, please pay attention, 3x all over 4 plus 5 all over 8 equals to 3 over 8. Now, what is the solution to this question? Well, to solve this equation, we are asked to simplify, you understand? Then, just get an expression for the value of x, okay? So now you can see that in the left hand side of this equation, we have 2 fractions, and this 2 fraction is separated by a plus sign. You understand? So in that case, we are going to take the LCM. What is the LCM of 4 and 8? That is 8. You understand? So 8 divided by 4 will give us 2. 2 multiplied by 3x will give us 6x. So I'm going to have 6x plus. Now 8 divided by 8, that is 1. 1 times 5 is what? 5. Do you understand? Okay, is equals to 3 over 8. Now, having done that, we have 1 fraction at the left hand side and another fraction at the right hand side. You can see that these fractions are separated by equals to sign. In that case, we are going to take the cross product. You understand? Cross product simply means cross multiplication. Okay, so here I'm going to cross multiply. That is, this 8 will multiply this 3. And this 8 will multiply 6x plus 5. Okay? So, for this, we are going to have 8 multiplied by 6x plus 5 is equals to 8 multiplied by 3. Please pay attention. This 8 is multiplying 6x plus 5. That's why I put it in the bracket. Okay? Now, 8 times 6x, that is 48x. Okay? 48x. 8 times 5, that is what? Plus 40. Do you understand? Okay. 8 times 3 is what? 24. So I'm going to have here 24. Now, the goal is to get the value of x. Do you understand? So, let us collect like terms. Do you understand what I'm doing at all? Now, let us collect like terms. If I'm to collect like terms, I'm going to take this plus 40 to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to have 4x, okay, sorry, 48x, sorry, 48x is equals to 24 minus 40. Do you understand? Okay, so I'm going to have 24 minus 40, please pay attention. 24 minus 40 is negative 16, you understand? Because negative 40, 24, we have negative 40. That means that, let's say you are owing someone 40 naira, you understand? And you now pay 24 naira. That means that you're still owing 16 naira. That is negative 16. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So 24 minus 40 is negative 16. So I'm going to have negative 16 here equals to 48x. Now to get the value of x, all you have to do is that just divide both sides by 48, which is the coefficient of x. Okay? This over 48 and this over 48. Now please pay attention. 16 divided by, negative 16 divided by 48. That will give us negative 1 over 3. You understand? So x will be equivalent to negative 1 over 3. Do you understand? Okay, that is the solution to the first question. Do you understand? Okay, now let us proceed to the second. That is still under the first question. Okay, that is question 1b. This one that we solved is question 1a. Now let us proceed to question 1b. Now, find the value of x in 3x plus 4 plus 2x equals to 49. Find the value of x. Find the value. Find the value of x find the value of x, that is 1b, this is 1a. Now find the value of x in 3x plus 4 plus 2x is equals to 49. Now how do we get the value of x? All you have to do is that just collect like terms, you understand? Collecting like terms simply means adding the terms that are similar to each other, you understand? So 3x and 2x, they are similar, okay? So I'm going to add 3x and 2x, so I'm going to add 3x plus 2x is equals to 49 minus 4. 3x plus 2x is what? 5x. Do you know I got 49 minus 4? I take this plus 4 to the other side of the equation, and because it has a positive sign before, if it crosses the equals to sign, the sign is going to change to negative. Hence, I'm going to have 5x is equals to 49 minus 4 is 45. So I'm going to have this over 45 is equivalent to 45. Divide both by 5 to get the value of x. So x is equivalent to 9. Okay, that is the solution to this to that question 1b. X is equivalent to 9. Now you might want to check your answer, maybe you are correct or not. All you have to do is just substitute the value of x into this equation. We have 3 into bracket 9, because now x is 9, right? Plus 4 plus 2 into bracket 9 is equivalent to 49. Now, if this is equivalent to 49, that means that we are correct. Do you understand? Okay, what I did was that having gotten the value of x, I just want to check. This is not necessary, but I'm just trying to maybe you want to confirm that your answer is correct or not. Okay, you can just substitute the value of x as 9 into this equation. Okay, so I'm going to have 3 into bracket 9. 3 times 9 is 27, so 27 plus 4 plus 2 times 9 is 18 plus 18. Okay, let's check if it is equivalent to 49. 27 plus 4, that is 31. 31 plus 18, that is 49, you understand? So this is equivalent to 49, you understand? So the value of x is 9. Now let's proceed to question 1c. Question 1c. For question 1c, if the area of a rectangle, if the area of a rectangular tabletop is 125 centimeters squared and the breadth is 10 centimeters squared, find the length, that is Roman figure 1. Then the second, Roman figure 2, find the perimeter. Now, please pay attention. 1c. We are given that if the area of a rectangular tabletop is 125 centimeters squared, area of a rectangular tabletop is 125 centimeters squared. Now, we are given that the breadth is 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters, the breadth is equivalent to 10 centimeters. Okay, we are asked to find the length. That is the first question there. Then we are asked to find the perimeter. Now pay attention. See, if you want to solve this question, we are given that the area. Now let me quickly draw a table with a rectangular top. You can see, if this is a table like this, we have a table, don't mind my diagram. Okay, now this is the rectangular tabletop. Now let us sketch out this top. This rectangle that this top that looks like a rectangle. Let us sketch it out. You want to sketch it out, you're going to have something like this. Is that not it? You didn't need to draw this in your exam, right? And the reason why I do it out is because I want to understand what I'm doing. Okay, so this is the top of the table. Now, what is the shape of this top? That is a rectangle. That's why they call it rectangular tabletop. Now, you know that the area of this table and the area of this top is what? 125 centimeters squared. That means that the area of this rectangle is 125 centimeters squared, and the area of the rectangle is what? Length times breadth. You understand? So let us first determine the length. You cannot find the perimeter without knowing the length. You understand? So it is important that we first find the length, then we can proceed to calculate the perimeter. Okay, now The breadth is 10 centimeter and the area is 125 centimeter squared. So area of the rectangle is what? Length times breadth, right? Okay. Now the area has been given as 125 centimeter squared. Okay. So I'm going to have 125 centimeter squared is equivalent to length. What is the length? The length is unknown, so I'm going to represent as L multiplied by B. The breadth is 10 centimeter multiplied by 10 centimeter. Okay, to get the length, I'm going to divide both sides by what? By 10 centimeter. Do you understand? So here I'm going to have, please pay attention, this divided by 10 centimeter and this divided by 10 centimeter. Do you understand? Okay, please pay attention. So for this will cancel this, so I'm left with what? L at the right hand side, and you know that 125 divided by 10, that is 12.5. So I'm going to have 12.5. Now centimeter squared divided by centimeter, that is centimeter. Okay, so the length is equivalent to 12.5 centimeter. Now please pay attention. The length here, pay attention, the length of this rectangle is 12.5 centimeter, and the breadth is what? The breadth is 10 centimeter as we have been given in the question. Okay, now 12.5 centimeter for the length and 10 centimeter for the breadth. I want to ask you a question. Now we've already we are done with the first question, which is the length. Now we want to get the perimeter. Now the perimeter of a shape tells us the total length of the shape. You understand? The total length of the shape gives the perimeter of that shape. So in that case, if I want to get the perimeter of this shape, which is the rectangle, I'm going to add all the length of the shape, that is from this point, going this to this point, to this point, to this point. That is the total length. You understand? That is the perimeter of the shape. Now, but I'm looking at something here. If this place is 10 centimeter and because it is a rectangle, a rectangle is a shape that has two opposite sides equal. You understand? And if this place is 10 centimeter, this will also be 10 centimeter. And if this is 12.5 centimeter, this will also be what? 12.5 centimeter. Do you understand? And the perimeter of a rectangle, the perimeter of a rectangle is given by 2 into bracket L plus B. You understand? Okay, so here I'm going to have 2 multiplied by L. L is 12.5 centimeter plus B is 10, so I'm going to have plus 10 centimeter. Okay, so the perimeter here is 12.5. Please pay attention. 12.5 centimeter plus 10 centimeter, that is 22.5, right? Then 22.5 times 2, that is 45. Do you understand? Just this is what I did. 12.5 plus D, that is 2 into bracket 22.5 centimeter. Okay, 22.5 centimeter times 2, that will give you 45 centimeter. Okay, now let me give you a tip. When you're solving mathematics, it's important that you put all this perimeter equals to, or you can make it at P. You can use it at P. P is equals to, so the perimeter is equals to 45 centimeter. Now, if you don't want to use this formula, you can add all these sides together. You are still going to arrive at 45 centimeter, but it's very important that you master this formula. Perimeter of the rectangle is 2 into bracket L plus B. Okay, so that is the solution to the first question. The first question comprises of 1A, 1B, and 1C, and we are done with that. Now, for the second question, in a certain school, the lesson periods for each subject is listed in the table below. Draw a pie chart to illustrate the information. Okay, now the question, the second question is on pie chart. I mean, question 2A now. The first question under the second question is pie chart. Okay, so I want you to pay attention very well. In a certain school, the lesson periods for each subject is listed in the table below. Draw a pie chart to illustrate the information. Okay, we are given the subject, which include English, mathematics, chemistry, physics, history, and French. And we have on the right hand side of the table, we have numbers of lesson. Okay, so let us proceed. So this is the table that we are given in the question. We have English. The numbers of lesson is 20, and we have mathematics, which is 14. We have chemistry, which is 8. We have physics, which is 18. We have history as well, that is 6. And we have French, that is also 6. Now, we want to draw a pie chart for this data, for this item that we have here. Now, please, I want you to pay attention. In drawing a pie chart for this table, the first step is that you have to add all the frequency. The frequency are the numbers that you have here. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to add all of these together. That is 20 plus 14. 20 plus 14 plus 8 plus 18 plus 6 plus 6. 20 plus 14, these are the numbers that I'm talking about, okay? 20 plus 14 plus 8 plus 18 plus 6 plus 6. That is 72. So the total number here is 72. So you write it here, 72. The reason why we need to find the total numbers that we have on this frequency, on this line and on this column, is because we're going to need it to calculate the sectorial angle. You understand? In pie chart, we represent the items that we are given on a circle. You understand? And we know from the basic mathematics that the sum of angle at a point is what? A 360 degree. So we want to calculate the angle that each of the item is going to be represented with on the pie chart. You understand? That is what we call sectorial angle. Please pay attention. The sectorial angle is the angle that each item is going to occupy on our pie chart. Okay, the sum of angle. Okay, let me quickly draw a typical representation of a pie chart. Of a pie chart. See, I've already fastened my pencil on this compass, so I'm going to be using this as the pie chart. We're going to use this. So first, draw a circle. You understand? Draw a circle, then please kindly pay attention. It's simple. You can see. Make sure that the compass that you're using is okay, so that you won't make any mistake. So first draw a circle. Then now after drawing a circle, the reason why I first draw a circle is because I want to teach you some things. I want to explain some things to you, okay? So all you have to do is just pay attention. Now, you see, this is a circle. This is the circle that I'm going to use to calculate the pie chart. This is the circle that I'm going to use for the pie chart. Now, on this point that you see here, the sum of angle at this point is known as 360 degree. You understand? So we're going to convert this angle. We're going to calculate the sectorial angle, and I told you that the sectorial angle is the angle that each of the item is going to represent on this pie chart. You understand? Ordinarily, the sum of angle at this point is 360 degree. Do you understand? Okay, so let us proceed to calculate the sectorial angle. To calculate the sectorial angle, please pay attention. Pay attention. To calculate the sectorial angle, you can go like this. Let us start with English. The sectorial angle for English will be equals to 20. You know that English, the numbers of lesson is what? Is 20. So I'm going to have 20 all over the total numbers. You understand? The total numbers here is what? Is 72. So 20 all over 72 multiplied by 360 degree. Okay, 20 divided by 72 multiplied by 360 degree. That is 100. Okay, that is 100 degree. Okay, so we are done with that. Let's calculate for mathematics. Do you know what I'm doing? Take each of the values that correspond to each of the item that you have. You understand? Take each of the value. For English, we have 20. So I have 20 all over the total numbers. That is 72 multiplied by 360 degree. So the sectorial angle for English is 100 degree. Okay. So for the next one, we have mathematics. For mathematics, now we're going to have mathematics. That is 14 all over 72 multiplied by 360 degree. Okay. 14 divided by 72. 14 divided by 72 is 0.194. Just multiply it by 360. 70 degree. Okay, this is 70 degree. And for chemistry, we are going to have 8. You know that the corresponding numbers for chemistry is 8, so you're going to have 8 all over the total, that is 72, multiplied by 360 degree. 8 divided by 72 multiplied by 360 degree, that is 40 degree. Okay, now for physics, we're going to have 18 all over 72 multiplied by 360 degree. Okay, 18 divided by 72 multiplied by 360, that is 90 degree. 90 degree. Then we have history. For history, please pay attention. For history, we are going to have 6. You know, for history we have 6 here, so we're going to have 6 all over 72 multiplied by 360 degree. 6 divided by 72 multiplied by 360, that is 30 degree. So here we're going to have 30 degree. Okay, so let me shift this upward. Now for the last one we have French, so let's calculate for French. The corresponding number to French is what? Is 6. So I'm going to have 6 all over the total, which is 72 multiplied by 360 degree. Okay, all this value that we have here, all this angle that you have here is called sectorial angle. Okay, this angle, these are the angle that each items that we have here is going to take. The size of each item on the pie chart is this angle, you understand? Okay, so here I'm going to have 6 divided by 72 as well, multiplied by 360 degree, that is 30 degree as well. So this is also 30 degree. Now I want you to do something now. Calculate or sum up all this angle. It must be equal to 360 degree. All this angle that you have here, 100 plus 70 plus 100 plus 70 plus 40 plus 90 plus 30 plus 30. It must be equal to 360 degree. You can see. So if you sum all this angle, all of them are equals to 360 degree. Okay, so now having done that, you cannot proceed to represent this angle on the pie chart. So I want you to pay attention now, because this is the most important aspect. This is the most important aspect. Okay, so now we are going to make use of this circle right now. So I want you to pay attention. I'm very sure you can see this. Okay, now I'm going to, please pay attention. I'm going to write out all this angle, because I want to fold this, you understand, so that I can actually I can bring this circle to the other side. So I'm going to write on this angle here. For English we have 100 degree. For math we have 70 degree. For chemistry we have 40 degree. For physics we have 90 degree. Then for history we have 30 degree, right? History we have 30 degree. History, that is 30 degree. Then for French we have 30 degree as well. 30 degree. Now since we are done with that, so I can fold this. Let me fold this so that so we are going to make use of this pie chart now. Let us represent all this angle on the pie chart. So now let's start with, because see, let me tell you, because you are having 90 degree, you can see we have 90 degree here. Physics is 90 degree, you can see. So that 90 degree can easily be drawn. You can easily draw 90 degree on the pie chart. Let me erase this circle that I have here. First, draw the diameter, you understand? Draw the diameter. Though we are still going to erase it when we are done, but it's necessary that we draw it so that we can draw the first angle. Okay, now so first draw the diameter. The diameter here is I hope my hand is straight. No, So I've done the diameter. Okay, now we have physics 90 degree. So let us take our protractor. That's why you see when you're going to the exam hall, make sure you go to with your math set. Okay, make sure you go with your math set. Now we have the protractor here. This is the protractor that I'm going to be using. We have many protractor, but you see, if you know how to use protractor, you're still going to result in into a correct answer. Okay, so this is the protractor that I'm going to be using. You can see on this protractor here, you have something like you can see you have a circle here. You must make sure that this circle is resting on the point that you have here. You must make sure that this this small circle that you have here, you can see this small circle, this one is resting on the point that you have on the pie chart. So I mean at the center of the circle that you draw, you can see. So I'm very sure you can see what I'm doing. If you cannot see, let me zoom it a bit. Okay, now you can see. Now please pay attention. On this protractor, we have some angle that move clockwise, and we have some angle that move anti-clockwise. Please pay attention again. On this protractor, we have some angle that moves clockwise. Now, if you look at the angle at the forefront, like angle at the tops, those angles at the tops, for example, 0, 10, 20, this one moves clockwise, and why the angle beneath, you can see this one ranges from 0 to 180 degree. It moves anti-clockwise. Now you are going to make use of the one that is above. Okay, you're going to make use of this angle, the angle that is above. You are going to make use of it. That one that moves clockwise, that is the angle that you're going to make use of. Okay, so now since we are let us first start with physics. You can start with any, you understand, but because we have physics is 90 degree, so let us start with physics. Now physics can easily be drawn. So since we are making use of angle that the top angle, the angle that is at the top of this protractor, that is, let us count 90. This is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90 degrees. So tick it. This is where 90 degree falls. You can see. So this is 90 degrees. So all you have to do is just to rule a line. Rule a line. You can see, rule a line from that point to the point at the center of the circle. Okay, I'm very sure you understood. You remember what I told you earlier. I told you that, listen, I told you that if you are using this kind of protractor, you must make sure that this circle that you have here is placed at the center of the circle that you're using for a pie chart. Okay, so that's it. Now this one that you see here is 90 degree. This angle from this point to this point is 90 degree, because you know that we are measuring our angle clockwise. That is, the angle is ranging like this. We are measuring our angle clockwise. So this angle that you see here is 90 degree. Let me put it 90 degree. You can see. So now, having done that, you can erase this line. Okay, having done this, you can erase this line. You can erase this line that you see here. You can erase this line. Are you there? You can erase this line as well. So now this is for physics. We are done with physics now. Now we want to measure for English. We want to measure for English. Now listen to me, please. Pay attention. I'm going to sketch some line out. I'm going to sketch some line because I'm still going to be making use of physics line to get the other angle. You understand? I'm going to make use of the physics line to get the sectorial to draw out the sectorial angle for other one. You understand what I'm saying? So now English is 100 degree. Don't forget, English is 100 degree. You can see at the top. This is it. English 100 degree. Now the reason why I draw this sketch line is because I want to place my protractor there. So I'm going to change this like this. I'm going to change the position of this book, so I can measure here 100 degree. So make sure that this point that you have on the protractor, is placed at the center. You can see that when I want to draw for English, I make use of the line that I stopped. I stop at the physics line. This is the physics line. Okay, Now, so I want to draw the sectorial angle for English. You are going to make use of physics line. Okay, so you place this place the protractor at the center. You understand? Then you have to count 100 degree clockwisely. Don't forget 100 degree clockwisely. So this is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So I'm going to have it here. So for this like this, you draw a line. You can see now. So now, since you are done with that, you can erase this sketch line. You understand? The major reason why I drew out this sketch line is because I want to play so that we understood what I'm doing. I want to place the protractor at the center so that you can understand. That's why I draw the sketch line, but it is not needed actually. Okay, so now you can see now that we are done with that of this line. This line that we draw here represent that of English. You understand? So you can also draw a sketch line out. You can trace it, draw a sketch line so that you can place the protractor there for the next one. Okay, so this is for English. This is for physics. Okay, please, I draw this sketch line. I drew this sketch line so that I can place the protractor at the center. Okay, so now we want to draw having drawn for English, the next is mathematics, which is 70 degree. Okay, so I'm going to change the book again. So now you can see I make sure that this point is placed at the center. Okay, now mathematics is on 70 degrees, so you make 70 degree clockwisely. This is 0. You can see this is 0, this is 0, 10, 20. This is very well. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So this is where 70 lies. So let us go this line to the point to the center. Draw a line from this point to the center. You can see now. So now, having done that, you can erase this sketch line as well. The sketch line that you drew the other time, you can erase it. So this is for mathematics. Now you can sketch line. You can draw a sketch. You can draw a sketch so that you'll be able to use it for another the next sectorial angle. So this is for mathematics. This one that you see here is for mathematics. So you turn the book, you turn it again, then you place your ruler at the center. The next that we want to calculate now is for chemistry, which is 40 degree. So you must make sure that this thing is placed at the center. Okay, is placed at the center. Now chemistry is 40 degrees. So, and if you check this clockwisely, this is where 40 degree is. So you have to draw a line from this point to the center. From this point to the center, you can see. So now you can erase this one. You can erase the previous sketch line that you have here. Erase it. And if you know how to do it without sketch line, you can do it. But because there are some of you watching this video that you might not be able to comprehend it, that's why I'm putting the sketch line so that you will know where to place the protractor very well. Okay, you can place the protractor very well. So this is for chemistry. Chemistry. So you can draw out the sketch line as well. Just sketch the line from that of chemistry. You can see, so that if you want to place protractor now, the protractor will be placed like this. Okay, now for the next one is history. Don't forget, we have already done for 90 English physics, which is 90 degrees. So the next one is history. History is what, 30 degrees. So you place the protractor like this as well. Place the protractor. You can see that it is the direction of the line that determines how I place the protractor. You understand? So that you will not make mistake in exam. So you can see that the last that I drew is for chemistry. So I will place the protractor like this. Now history is 30 degrees. So, and you can see that if you count clockwisely, this is where 30 degree is. So 30 degree is here. So draw the line from here.
Okay, so you can erase the last sketch that you have there. The last sketch that is for English, for chemistry rather. You can erase it now. So this is 30 degree, right? So we have already drawn it. That is for history. So you can sketch it. You can sketch the line out. So this is for history. This one is for history. So we are done with history now. So now, please, I want you to pay attention. You want to check. The last is French. Okay. Don't forget. This one is for history. This will be French. Okay. The last one will be French. Don't forget that. Let us check it if it is actually this. If you're going to have 30 degree, I'm very sure that the last one, the angle between this place to this place. Don't forget the angle between this place to this place is what is 30 degree. That is for chemistry. That is for history. Now we have French. French is also what 30 degree. I'm very sure the angle from this point to this point is 30 degree. But let us check so that we can confirm our answer. Place the protractor at the center of the circle that we draw. You can see that it is exactly 30 degrees. See, it is exactly 30 degrees. Okay, it is exactly 30 degrees. This is 0, 10, 20, and 30. So the angle, the sectorial angle here is 30 degrees. Hence, that is for French. Okay, French, that is 30 degrees. Okay, so you can see now that we are done with the pie chart. So you can erase the sketch line that you put. The reason why I drew out the sketch line for each of the lines is because so that you can place the protractor very well. Okay, but it is not actually necessary. Do you understand? Okay, so this is for physics. Physics is 90 degree. English is 100. Math is 70 degree. Now chemistry is 40 degree. History is 30 degree, and French is 30 degree. This is the pie chart that we are asked to construct. This is the pie chart that we are asked to draw. I'm very sure you understood the solution to that question. This is the pie chart, and make sure that when you're doing your pie chart, make sure that your work is neat. Do you understand? Okay, so that is why it is very important that you make use of a sharpened pencil and make sure that your instrument is tightened enough. And when you are using protractor, when you are using your compass, make sure that this place is very important that this thing is not slacking. Okay, so that you will not have a bad diagram. Now, so that is the solution to that question. If you have any question regarding this pie chart 10, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let us proceed to question 2b. Okay,
Let's proceed to question 2b. Find the mean, median, and mode of the following data. Okay, question 2b. Find the mean, median, and mode of the following data. We have 1, 7, 4, 6, 5, 4, and 9. Now we are asked to find the mean, median, and mode of this data. Now let's start with the mean. Okay. Now how do we calculate the mean of this data? Now don't forget that mean simply means average. You understand? Mean simply means average, and to get the mean of this data, all you have to do is that just sum all the data together. You understand? Sum all of them together and divide it by the counts of all. You understand? So for this, the mean will be equivalent to 4 plus 1 plus 7 plus 4 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 9 all over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 all over 8. We are having 8 data in that place. That is okay. So the mean will be of this data will be 4 plus 1 plus 7 plus 4 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 and plus 9. That is 40. You understand? So the sum of data is 40. I'm going to have 40 over 8. So 40 divided by 8 will give us 5. You understand? Okay, so the mean of this is 5. The mean is equivalent to 5. I'm very sure you understood what I did. You see, when you're asked to find mean simply means average. You understand? And to get the average, you have to sum all the values that you are given. Okay? You are given 4, 1, 7, 4, 6, 5, 4, 9. You understand? So I add all of them together, then I count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I divide by 8. When I add this together, I got 40. 40 divided by 8 will give us 5. So the mean is 5. Now let's proceed to get the the median. Now, median is the middle number. Okay, the middle number when you arrange your data in an ascending order. You understand? That is the median. Okay, so let us arrange this data in an ascending order. Now, the least of them is 1, so I'm going to have 1. After 1 is what? Is 4, so I'm going to have 4. After 4 is another 4. After we have another 4. So after 4 we have 5. Then after 5 we have 6. After 6 we have 7. Then after 7 there is no 8, so we have 9. Okay, so we have already arranged this in ascending order. As in ascending order simply means in order of increment. You understand? Okay, so we've arranged this in ascending order. Count all the data that you have: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now having done this, so you have to look for the middle number, the number that falls at the middle. You understand? Because all these mean, median, and mode are the measures of sexual tendency. You understand? Okay, so let's start. Remove this as well. So we have two numbers at the middle, which are what? Which are 4 and 5. Please pay attention. We are having two numbers at the middle, and these two numbers are 4 and 5. So you have to take the average of 4 and 5, you understand, to get the median. Okay, you see, the reason why we have two numbers at the middle is because the numbers of data that we have in this place is 8, you understand, and 8 is an even number. So if you want to find the middle number, you are going to have two numbers at the middle, you understand. Let's say that the total numbers of our data set, the total numbers of elements in our data set is like maybe an odd number. There will only be a single number in the middle, you understand. That single number will be the median. But now we are having two numbers at the middle, which are 4 and 5. So to get the median will be equivalent to 4 plus 5, sum them together and find their average, divided by 2. Okay, 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 divided by 2 is what? 4.5. So the median is 4.5. Do you understand? Okay, let's get the mode of the data. You understand? Let us call this one romantic 2. Okay, the third question under question 2b, we are asked to find the mode. See, the mode is the most occurring number. You understand? The number that occurs the most in our data set is called the mode. Now, you can see that. Let's start with 1. We have 1 how many times? 1 occurs 1 time. You understand? Then after 1 we have 4. 4 occurs 3 times. We have 1, 2, 3. You understand? 4 occurs 3 times. Then we have 5. 5 occurs 1 times. 6 occurs 1 times. 7 occurs 1 times, and 9 occurs 1 time. So the most occurring number, the number that have the highest numbers of repetition is called the mode. You understand? So now the mode here will be what? Will be 4. Why? Because it is the number that is repeated most. You understand? The number that occurs most is 4. So the mode here is 4. Do you understand? Okay. So that is the solution to that question number 2b. Now, since we are done with question 2b, let us proceed to the question 3. The reason why, you see, let me tell you, if you come across all these questions in exam, the reason why I want to solve all of them is because I want you to understand all of them. You understand? So, but if you are solving this in exam, follow the instruction. The instruction says answer question 1 and any other 2 questions. You are not to provide solution to all the questions. You are not to provide solution to all the questions. You are asked to answer question 1 and any other 2 questions. Okay. So, but the reason why I'm solving this is because I want you to understand all the questions. Then you can choose the one to answer in your exam. Okay. Solve the following inequalities. Question 3a. Okay. 3a. Solve the following inequalities. We have from figure 1, x minus 2 is less than 3. X plus 3 is greater than or equals to 6. 2 is greater than x minus 4. Okay, these are the inequalities that we are asked to solve. Solve the following inequalities. Now, please pay attention. You see, the sign for the first question is what? Okay, let's start. X minus 2 is less than 3. So now, the next step here is that just collect like terms, you understand? Take this negative 2 to the other side of the equation. Just like if you have something like this, x minus 2 is equivalent to 3. But this one is inequality. Why? Because the sign there is inequality. I mean, the meaning of less than means that this is not equivalent to 3. You understand? That is, x minus 2 is less than 3. So we are asked to find the value of x. So it's just like the method that you use in solving linear equation. You are still going to employ the same method here. It's just that the sign here will be different. You understand? So kindly pay attention. Now we have x minus 2 is less than 3. Now to solve this, take this negative 2 to the other side. You're going to have x is less than 3 plus 2, because if this negative 2 crosses the equals to sign, the sign is going to change to plus. So I'm going to have x is less than 5. That is the final answer to the question. Okay, x is less than 5. That is question Roman figure 1. For Roman figure 2, we have x plus 3 is greater than or equals to 6. Now pay attention. We are still going to go the same way. All you have to do is that just collect like terms by taking this plus 3 to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to have x is greater than or equals to 6 minus 3. So x is greater than or equals to 3. Okay, so let's proceed to the third question, which is 2 is greater than x minus 4. 2 is greater than x minus 4. Okay, how do we solve this question? It's simple. Okay, all you have to do here is that we are still going to collect like terms. You understand? It's just like having, please pay attention. For this, we are going to have 2 is greater than x minus 4. Collect like terms. That is, we are going to take this negative 4 to the left hand side of the equation. So you are going to have 4 plus 2 is greater than x. Okay? So 4 plus 2 is 6. So I'm going to have 6 is greater than x. Are you getting it? So, and if you want to write this, if 6 is greater than x, that means that x is less than 6. You understand? Listen. If I say that I am older than you understand? Listen to me. If I told you that I am older than you, that means that your age is less than my age, right? You understand? My age is greater than your age. That means that your age is less than my age. Now, if 6 is greater than x, that means that x is less than 6. Okay? So that means you're going to have x is less than 6. That is, I interchange it. You understand? Okay? Now listen. 2 is less than 3. 2 is less than 3 means that 3 is greater than 2. Of course, this is correct. Do you understand? Okay? So I just explained the reason why I put this. You understand? So if 6 is greater than x, that means that x is less than 3. Okay, x is less than 6. Now, so that is the solution to question 3a. Now, let's proceed to question 3b. Simultaneous equation. Solve the following simultaneous equation. 2x minus 2y. Oh, 3x minus 2y, sorry. 3x minus 2y equals to 4. And 2x plus 3y equals to negative 6. Okay, by the way, if you wish to learn more on inequality, you understand there are many questions and there are many past exam questions I've already solved on this channel. Okay, check the playlist inequality. You're going to see many solved past questions by watching those videos and practicing the question that is there. You're going to that will help you to broaden your knowledge on this concept. Okay, now let's proceed to that simultaneous equation. We have to solve for x and y. That is 3b. 3b, we have 3x minus 2y. Solve the simultaneous equation. 3x minus 2y is equivalent to 4, and then 2x plus 3y is equivalent to negative 6. Now, we are given these two equations, we are asked to solve it. The goal is to determine the value of x and y. Do you understand? Now, please pay attention. We have two equations. Let's call this equation 1 and let's call this equation 2. You can solve this equation using substitution method, elimination method, and graphical method. But with respect to your level now, let's focus on substitution and elimination method. Okay, I'm going to solve this equation using the two methods. Do you understand? But there is one thing I want you to know. If you come across a question like this in exam, please use the method that you are very that you know very well. You understand? Use the method that you know very well. Now, because the question does not specify the method that you are to use, you can use any method, either substitution or elimination. You understand? But the goal is that you must get the same. You must get the correct answer. Okay? Since the question does not specify the method that they want you to use, what you have to do is that just use any method that you know the best. So I'm going to solve this question using both elimination method and substitution method. Okay, so let us start with the substitution method. Okay, now to solve this question using the substitution method, pay attention. How many unknown do we have in this equation? We have two unknown. The two unknown are x and y. You understand? Don't forget the goals of the equation. The goals is to determine the value of the two unknown that we have. The first unknown is x and the second unknown is y. Now, since we are having two unknown, the first step in solving this equation using the substitution method is that you have to make one of the unknown the subject of the relation in any of the equation. That's the first step. Okay, you can see now that it is very, very important that you that you understand how to make the subject of the formula very well. You can see now. So maybe perhaps if you miss our class on subject of the formula, how to make a terms the subject of the formula in an equation, check the playlist on this channel. You will find video on it. You understand? So now listen. The first step in solving this question using the substitution method is that you have to make one of the unknown the subject of the formula or the subject of the relation in any of this equation. Okay, we have two unknown which are x and y. Which unknown should we make the subject of the formula, and in which equation should we make it? Okay, you can choose any equation, but for me, I'm going to choose equation 1. Okay, I'm going to make x the subject of the formula in equation 1. Do you understand what I'm doing at all? Listen. We have two unknown. The first step in solving this equation using the substitution method is that you have to make one of the unknown the subject of the formula. Okay, this means that we have two unknown. We're having x and y as the unknown. Abi, now I'm going to make x the subject of the formula in equation 1. Since I choose equation 1, you can decide to choose equation 2. You are still going to arrive at the same answer. Okay, but I choose equation 1. So let's go. Equation 1 is what? 3x. Equation 1 is 3x minus 2y equals to 4. Now I want to make x the subject of the formula in this equation. So I'm going to have 3x is equals to 4 plus 2y, because if this negative 2y crosses the equals to sign to the other side, I'm going to have a positive 2y. You understand? So that's why I have 4 plus 2y. Now don't forget the goals. The goals is to make x the subject of the formula. So, but I'm having 3x as the left hand side of the equation. So I'm going to divide both sides by what? By 3. Okay? So here I'm going to have this divided by 3 and this divided by 3. So for this, I'm going to have this 3 will cancel this 3. I'm left with what? X is equivalent to what? 4 plus 2y all over 3. You understand? So that is the I've already made x the subject of the formula in equation 1. So now that is the first step. We are done with the first step. The second step is that you have to substitute the value of x in the second equation. Don't forget that it is from equation 1 that I make x the subject of the formula. I cannot substitute that same x into the subject into equation 1. Okay, I will now use equation 2. You understand? Having make x the subject of the formula in equation 1, I'm going to substitute the value of x as 4 plus 2y all over 3 into equation 2. Do you understand? Okay, so let us proceed. Equation 2, you see, I've made many videos on simultaneous equation. Okay, you can check the channel, check the playlist, watch all the video, and when you are watching, make sure that you understand it. Okay, I've made many classes on simultaneous equation. Okay, so you can watch the video if you didn't understand, to understand more on this concept. So x is equivalent to 4 plus 2y all over 3. Now the next step here is that you have to substitute the value of x into equation 2. Equation 2 is what? 2x plus 3y equals to minus 6. You understand? Now when x is equals to 4 plus 2y equals all over 3, so I'm going to have 2 into bracket 4 plus 2y all over 3 plus 3y equals to negative 6. Do you know what I did? I replaced x as 4 plus 2y all over 3 since I've already made x the subject of the formula in equation 1. So what I did here is that I substituted it into equation 2. Okay? Now, we are going to make use of this 2 to open the bracket. Okay? 2 multiplied by 4 with what? 8. 2 times plus 2y, that is what? Plus 4y. So I'm going to have this over 3 plus 3y is equivalent to negative 6. Now, in the left hand side, don't forget that 3y, please pay attention. 3y can be written as what? 3y all over 1. Do you understand? So, please pay attention. Therefore, I can rewrite this as 8 plus 4y all over 3 plus 3y all over 1 is equals to negative 6. Now take the LCM. The LCM is 3. 3 divided by 3 is what? 1. 1 times 8 plus 4y, that is what? 8 plus 4y. Okay? 3 divided by 1 is what? 3. 3 times plus 3y, that is what? Plus 9y. So I'm going to have this equivalent to what? Negative 6. What I'm doing now is that I'm simplifying. You understand? I want to simplify and get the value of y. You understand? It's simple, okay? It's simple. All you have to do is just pay attention. So let's proceed. It's simple. Now, so we have 8 plus, okay, we can connect like times 4y plus 9y, that is 13y. So I'm going to have 8 plus 13y all over 3 is equals to negative 6, okay? So negative 6 can be written as negative 6 all over 1, you understand? Negative 6 can be written as negative 6 all over 1. So now take the cross product, that is cross multiply. This 1 will multiply this 8 plus 13y, and this 6 will multiply negative, this 3 will multiply negative 6. So I'm going to have 8 plus 13y multiplied by 1, that is 6 plus 13y, is equals to negative 6 times 3. 8 plus 13y is equals to negative 6 times 6 is negative 18. You understand? Please pay attention. 13y is equals to, now, if this 8 crosses the equals to sign, I'm going to have negative 18, negative 8, because it has a positive sign before. And because it has a positive sign, if it crosses the equals to sign, the sign is going to change to negative, okay? So I have plus negative 8, you understand? So I'm going to, here, we're going to have 13y is equivalent to negative 18, negative 8. It's just as if you are owing someone 18 naira, you now went and you still meet the person again and said, borrow me 8 naira. How much are you owing altogether? You are owing 26 naira, you understand? So negative 18, negative 8 will give us negative 26, you understand? Negative 26. So divide by 13, this over 13 and this over 13. So y is equivalent to what? Negative 2. Now, having gotten the value of y as negative 2, you can easily get the value of x by substituting negative 2 into either equation 1 or equation 2. And you can also substitute y as negative 2 into this equation, where you made x the subject of the formula. Okay? So you can, let us use this. Substitute the value of y is equals to 2 into this equation, you're going to get the value of x. Don't forget that we made x the subject of the formula in equation 1. So x is what? X is equals to 4 plus 2y all over 3. So when y is equals to negative 2, x will be equals to 4 plus 2 into bracket negative 2. We put the negative 2 all over 3. Negative 2 all over 3, you understand? So for this, x will be, pay attention, okay? Pay attention. So for this, I'm going to have x is equals to 4 plus 2 times negative 2, that is what? Negative 4. 4 plus negative 4 all over 3. X is equals to 4 minus 4 all over 3. That is 0 over 3, undefined. That is 0, okay? So x is 0 and y equals to negative 2. Is this correct or not? Let us check. Let us check if it is correct. We have 3x minus 2y. 3x, when x is 0, I'm going to have 3 times 0, that is 0. Negative 2 times y. Y is what? Negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2, that is what? Positive 4, you understand? So that means that it satisfies the first equation. Let us check for the second equation. When x is 0, do you know what I'm doing at all? I'm testing maybe the value of my x and y are correct, you understand? You see, the value of x is what? 0. X is equivalent to 0. X x is equivalent to 0 and y is equivalent to minus 2. So I want to check maybe all these values are correct. So what I did was that I'm substituting it into both equations to check. So if I substitute the value of x and y into this equation, I must get 4. And if I replace x as 0 and y as negative 2 into this equation, I must get negative 6. If I didn't get that answer, that means that the solution is wrong. Okay? So let us check it. Let us check. I'm going to erase this. I'm very sure you've already written this. So let us check. Now, for the first equation, that is 3 into bracket 0 minus 2 into bracket minus 2. Will this be equals to 4? 3 times 0 is what? 0. Minus 2 times minus 2, that is what? Plus 4. So you can see that it is equivalent to 4. Now, that's the first test. Let's check the second one also. That will be 2 into bracket 0 plus 3 into bracket minus 2. Will this be equals to minus 6? Let us check. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 3 times negative 2. That is negative 6. So I'm going to have plus 3 times negative 2. That is negative 6. So I'm going to have negative 6. You can see that negative 0 minus negative 6. Okay. 0 minus 6. That is what? Minus 6. You can see that minus 6 is equivalent to minus 6. That means that both the value of x and y satisfy the equation. Hence, the value of x and y in this equation is 0 and negative 2. Do you understand? Okay? Now, that is for the substitution method. You can also solve this using the elimination method. Do you understand? Okay, so, I don't know. Okay, let me quickly solve this. Let's solve this using the elimination method. Let us solve it. Let's use elimination method to solve it so that you can understand both methods. And then you can now, I want to do something now. Tell me the method that you find most simple, that is easier for you in the comment section, okay? Tell me, let me know. Tell me the method that you find most simpler and you understood the most. Okay, let's solve this using the elimination method. To solve this question using the elimination method, the first step is that you have to identify the unknown that you want to eliminate. Okay, now don't forget we are having two unknowns, which are x and y. Which unknown should we eliminate? Should we eliminate x or should we eliminate y? Well, that depends on your choice. I'm going to eliminate x. Okay, now in an attempt to help me to eliminate x, I'm going to make the coefficients of x in both equations to be uniform. You understand? What I mean by being uniform is that I have to make them to be the same. You understand? You can see that the coefficient of x in equation 1 is 3 and the coefficient of x in equation 2 is what? Is 2. You can see now. So they are not the same. So I have to make them uniform. I have to make them the same. Now, and to do that, I have to multiply the first equation by the coefficient of x in equation 2. Then I'm going to multiply the second equation by the coefficient of x in equation 1. Do you understand? Okay, let's proceed. What I mean was that I'm going to multiply the first equation by the coefficient of x in equation 2. The coefficient of x in equation 2 is what? Is 2. So, and the first equation is what? 3x. 3x minus 2y equals to 4. This is the first equation. So, I'm going to multiply this equation by the coefficient of x in equation 2. So, I'm going to have all this multiplied by 2. Okay? Do you understand? So, in that case, I'm going to have 2 times 3x. That is what? That is 6x. 6x. 2 times negative 2y. That is what? Negative 4y. 2 times 4. That is equivalent to 8. Okay? Now, you can see that the coefficient of x now is 6x. Now, we are going to do the same for equation 2. You understand? We are going to multiply equation 2 by the coefficient of x in equation 1. And equation 2 is what? This is equation 2. 2x plus 3y equals to minus 6. That is equation 2. So, I'm going to multiply equation 2 by coefficient of x in equation 1. The coefficient of x in equation 1 is 3. So, I'm going to multiply this equation by 3. So, for this, I'm going to have 6x. So, 3 times 2x, that is 6x. 6x. 3 times plus 3y, that is plus 9y. Equals to 3 times negative 6, that is what? Negative 18. Okay? So, you can see that for both equations now, the coefficient of x is now the same. Okay? Listen. When I want to start this solution, I told you that the first step is to identify the unknown that you want to eliminate. I chose x. So the second step is that you have to make the coefficient of x in both equations to be the same. Okay? The coefficient of the unknown that you want to eliminate in both equations, you have to make them to be the same. And to do that, you have to multiply the coefficient of x in equation 1 by, you have to multiply the whole equation 1 by the coefficient of x in equation 2. The coefficient of x in equation 2 is 2. So I multiply whole equation 1, then I get this. I do the same for equation 2. You understand? Okay? Now, having done that, the next step is that just combine both equations. That is 6x. We have 6x minus 4y equals to 8. And the second is 6x plus 9y equals to negative 18. You see, listen to this explanation. Now, you can see that there is difference in sign. The sign of 6x, what I'm trying to say is that we have 6x here, we have 6x here. If we add both equations, we will still not be able to eliminate x. Is that not it? So we have to subtract. You see, in simultaneous equation, when you get to this point, there are some cases where you add both equations, and in another case you subtract both equations. That depends on the structure of the signs of the unknown that you want to eliminate, because both unknown are carrying positive and positive. You understand? You see, the x, I want to eliminate x, and the coefficient of x for both equations are positive, so I'm going to subtract. You understand? But if one is positive and if another is negative, I'm going to add. You understand? If one is addition and the other is subtraction, I'm going to add. But because they are both positive, I'm going to subtract this equation from this equation. Do you understand? Okay? If you want to learn more on simultaneous equation, check the playlist on this channel, watch those classes, and by so doing, you're going to be improving. Even though if you don't know anything before on simultaneous equation, you can learn. Okay? Now let us proceed. Subtract equation. So we have modified this equation. We have modified equation 1 as this. This is equation 1. And we have modified equation 2 as this. Subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So I'm going to have 6x minus 6x. Do you understand? That means I'm going to have 6x minus 6x, okay, minus 4y minus plus 9y. Now, okay, I'm going to, please pay attention, it's simple. For this, in order to help you to understand, I'm going to take it step by step. Okay, let's start again. 6x minus 6x, that is what? 6x minus 6x, that is what? 0, okay? So I'm going to have 0 here. Minus 4y minus plus 9y. Let's write it. Minus 4y minus plus 9y. What is the answer? That will minus 4y minus times plus is what? Minus. So I'm going to have minus 4y minus minus 9y. Okay? So that will be minus 13y. Do you understand? Okay? So here I'm going to have minus 13y is equals to, okay? So we have, for the next one, we have 8 minus 18. 8 minus 18. Let me write it out. 8 minus 18. That is what? 8 minus times minus, that is plus. 8 plus 18, that is what? 26. You understand? So we have 26 in this side. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm doing? I just take the difference between this and this. Okay? So for this, I'm going to have minus 13y is equivalent to 26. The variables are minus 13. This over minus 13. So y is equals to minus 2. If you divide a positive number by a negative number, you're going to have a negative number. Do you understand? If you divide a positive number by a positive number, you're going to have a positive number. If you divide a negative number by a negative number, you're going to have a positive number. And if you divide a negative number by a positive number, you're going to have a negative number. This is what I mean. Master this sign, okay? Master this. If you divide a negative number by a positive number, you're going to have a negative number. If you divide a positive number by a negative number, you're going to have a negative number. If you divide a positive number by a positive number, you're going to have a positive number. And if you divide a negative number by a negative number, you're going to have a negative number. Master the fourth rule, okay? All this, we've done it in algebraic process, okay? So if you want to master algebraic process as well, check the channel, check the playlist on this channel, okay? Now, that is why we have negative 2. 26 is a positive number, you understand? And 13 has a negative sign. So, plus 26 divided by negative 13 will give us negative 2, because the rule says if you divide a positive number by a negative number, you're going to have negative number. So we have negative 2 here, okay? Now let us proceed. Since y equals to 2, since y equals to negative 2, we can easily get the value of x by just substituting the value of x into any, the value of y into any of the equation. I choose equation 1. Okay, equation 1 is 3x minus 2y equals to 4. So when y is minus 2, I'm going to have 3x minus 2 into bracket minus 2 equals to 4. 3x minus 2 times minus 2, that is plus 4, equals to 4. 3x is equals to 4 minus 4. 3x is equals to 0. So to get the value of x, what do? You divide both by 3. Okay, this over 3 and this over 3. That means that x is equals to 0. So the value of x and y is still the same as when we use the substitution method, which are 0 and minus 2 respectively. The value of x and y respectively are 0 and minus 2. Okay, you can now put your answer like this: x, y is equals to 0, minus 2. That is the final answer. Okay, so we are done with that simultaneous equation. You can see that it's simple. It just requires attention, and another thing that is required is that you have to master both methods, because in some questions they might state that use this specific method. So I do advise students that they should master both methods. You understand? But if in any way, if they didn't state the method that you are told to use the method that you felt you understood the best. But if you are told to use substitution method and you go and use elimination method, they're not going to give you mark. You understand? So you follow the instruction. But in any way, if there is no instruction, you can use the method that you know best. Okay? Now, let us proceed to the last question, which is question number 4. Question number 4. Question number 4 is on variation. I'm coming. Question 4 is on variation, okay? We are given that x varies inversely as y, and x is equals to 30 when y is equals to 12. Find A, the formula connecting x and y, B, x when y is 10, C, y when x is 25. Okay, this is a question on indirect variation. You understand? Okay, I'm coming. Now, question 4. Okay, x varies 1 over y. Okay, we are not given that when y equals to 12, we are asked to find the equation, the formula connecting. Okay, the formula connecting x and y. Then we are asked to find x when y equals to 10 and y when x equals to 25. Now, how do we solve this question? The first step, let us start with the first question: formula connecting x and y. Do you know the meaning? You are asked to find the relationship between x and y. Okay, so and in variation simply means something that is not equal. You understand? Varies. You understand? If I say that my age varies directly as your age, that is, any change in my age will lead to corresponding change in your age. That means that our age can never be equal. You understand? But now in variation, there is something called proportionality constant. You understand? If you want to change this variation sign to equals to sign, you introduce a proportionality constant. The work of the proportionality constant is to tell us the times, the amounts that leads to the variation in both x and y. You understand? Listen, it's simple. Okay, let's say that when I'm 2, okay, when I'm 10 years, you are 2 years old. Now listen, let's do something mathematically now. Let's say x. Okay, when beloved is 2 is 10 years. When beloved is 10 years, Grace is 4 years. Now listen, please pay attention. I just bring this so that you can understand what I'm doing. Now, that means that beloved age let's say beloved age varies directly as grace age. You understand? You know that that means that our age are not equal, because variation talks about something that is not equal. You understand? Variation. So that means that if my age increased by a proportion of 2 years, grace age will also increase by a proportion of 2 years. You understand? Now listen, please pay attention. If I want to change this variation sign to equals to sign, I'm going to have B is equivalent to, now I'm going to introduce a proportionality constant. B is equals to K multiplied by G. Do you know the meaning of K? K is the proportionality constant. You understand? The goals of the proportionality constant is to tell us the amount that we have to multiply by to the age of grace to get the age of beloved. You understand? So that means that if mine is 10, if I'm 10 and grace is 4, that means I'm going to have K multiplied by 4, right? So I'm going to divide myself by 4 to get the value of K. So K will be equals to 5 all over 2. You understand? Now, it will be easy for me to get the age, my age. You understand? It will be easy for me to get the age of beloved if I know the age of grace, because beloved age is equals to K multiplied by G. You understand? So if grace age is 10 years, beloved age will be, please pay attention. If the age of grace is equivalent to 10 years, you can easily get my age by substituting the value of the age of grace as 10. That means I'm going to have the beloved age is equals to 5 over 2 multiplied by 10 years. You understand? So my age will be equals to 5 times 10, which is 50. So 50 all over 2, that is what, 25 years. You can see now. So the goals of the proportionality constant is to tell us the amount of increase, the changes or the differences that exist between two variables. You understand? Okay, so an increase, when you want to change this variation sign to equals to sign, we must introduce a proportionality constant. You understand? Okay, the reason why I use this is because I want to understand better. So even though that's not the question that you are given, so that by the time I introduce the proportionality constant, you will not be wondering that what is the proportionality constant? I just explained to you now. Okay, so x varies inversely as y, 1 over y. So if I want to change this variation sign to equals to sign, please pay attention. If I want to change this variation sign to equals to sign, I'm going to introduce a proportionality constant. So I'm going to have x is equivalent to k multiplied by 1 over y. So I'm going to have x is equivalent to k over y. You understand? Don't forget that we've been given in the question that y is what? Y is equals to what? 12. Okay? Y is equals to 12. So if y is equals to 12, that means that, please pay attention, y is equals to 12, and don't forget that we've been given in the question as well that x is equals to 30. Okay? In the question we've been given that x is equals to 30. So we first have to get the value of k, then we cannot proceed to solve question B and C. Now, y is equals to 12 and x is equals to 30. So substitute the value of y as 12 and substitute the value of x as 30. I'm going to have 30 is equals to k all over 12. You understand? So k, which is the proportionality constant, is equals to 30 multiplied by 12. Do you understand how I got? If you do understand, maybe you should listen to the explanation again. The first explanation that I did, listen to it very well. Now, k is equals to 30 multiplied by 12. 30 times 12 is 360. So I'm going to have k is equals to 360. Now, the equation connecting, listen, please pay attention. The equation connecting x and y, that is first question. The equation connecting x and y is what? X is equals to k over y. So x is equals to, k is what? 360. 360 all over y. This is the equation connecting, that is the equation connecting x and y, okay? Let me change the marker. So the equation connecting x and y is 360, x is equals to 360 over y. Now let us solve the second question. We are asked to find the value of x when y is equals to 10. Now, you can easily get the value of x when y is equals to 10. All you have to do is that just substitute the value of y as 10 into the equation connecting x and y. The equation connecting x and y is what? X is equals to 360 all over y. So when y is equals to 10, I'm going to have x is equals to 360 all over 10. You understand? X is equals to 36. So when y is 10, x is equals to 36. Now let us proceed to the third question under question 4. We are asked to find the value of y when x is 25. That one is also simple. All you have to do is that just substitute the value of x as 25 into the equation connecting x and y. Okay, the equation connecting x and y is what? X is equals to 360 over y. X is equals to 360 all over y. So when x is 25, I'm going to have 25 is equals to, let me erase this so as to leave enough space for the solution. Okay, so 25 is equals to 360 all over y. Okay, from that point you can cross multiply. You can cross multiply, like, you know. Let us erase this. So here I'm going to have 25 times y. 25 times y is equals to 360. So divide this by 25. This is about 25. So y is equals to 14.4. 14.4. So the answer to the third question is 14.4. When x is 25, y is when x is 25, y is 14.4, and when y is 10, y is 36. So if you got this answer, that means you are correct. So that is the last question for the section B of Basic Education Certificate Examination 2022. I'm very sure you understood the class. Okay, so in our next class we're going to talk about Basic Education Certificate Examination, that is 2023 past question. Okay.